All right, I am recording. Okay, hey guys, welcome to call number 1 of the Director Bound group. Thank you all for being here. First of all, I know 7:30 Central Time or 8:30 Eastern or whatever time zone you're in. It's probably late for you or around dinner time. So I appreciate y'all taking the time to be on. My name is Trish Woods. I'm not Claudia Bazar. I'm using her Zoom link, but I joined Pampered Chef in January of 2017. And I have since just kind of slowly moved up the ranks. I finally decided that I wanted to build a team. It took a while. I fast-tracked in my first 90 days, like by the skin of my teeth, like on my 90th day practically is when I finally got my team of 5. And there we go. Okay. I got my team of 5 and I got my $5,000 in sales and I got my $500 bonus, 250 Pampered Chef dollars, and all of the spring products. Because whenever I promoted, it was around March of 2017. So I got all the spring products. So you guys, if you're in Fast Track, that's what you will get. And the director box that you guys get is huge. It's going to be all of the fall products, which includes the quick cooker. And it's like over $1,000 worth of products, like the donut pan, the waffle stick pan, everything that the cocktail maker set, everything. So you guys are going to get all of that on top of the extra cash. So as you guys know, there is the new kit that they are doing, the half price kit rebate. So when you recruit people, or we like to say share this business, when you share the business with people, in October, then they're going to get, when they qualify in the first 30 days, which means they have to have 1,250 in sales, they're going to get half of that back. So they can start for $109 and get half of that back. They're going to make well over $109 on their very first 2 parties because, as you guys know, we try to schedule, more than a couple parties every single week. We like to start you out with at least 4 because you're going to have a couple duds, right? So that's important. And so I guess that's basically, my story. I just wanted to, just get the $5,000 myself every single month. I didn't want to actually share the business with people because I was scared to do it. I finally got out of that and just started, asking people. And I found that I got way more no's than I got yeses, that's for sure. But I finally slowly but surely built a team. And, since then I've, moved up the ranks and, now I'm an executive director I made it 18 months. So I'm still new myself and I'm still learning. So you guys can definitely, keep moving up, but you have to ask people. So that's my story. So now I want to introduce Christy Leisure. She started in May or June. We were just discussing that earlier. So she hasn't been in this business very long, but she is a director and she's doing fantastic. This girl, I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this. I didn't ask permission. I'm just going to do it. She spent probably the last, I would say 2 or 3 months, maybe, Christy, in and out of the hospital with an illness. And she still made over $5,000 in team sales every single month. This girl worked her parties while she was laying in a hospital bed. When you realize what you want and why you want it, you continue moving forward. And that's exactly what she did. So you guys have to have that mindset. Anyways, okay, Christy. So now introduce yourself and share with us a little bit about your story that I haven't already told.
Okay, can y'all hear me okay? Because my connection is so crappy. It's not even funny. Okay, so I did look and I signed up at the very end of May. And June, I worked my tail off and I promoted to director the 1st of July. And that was my goal, was to be a director. That's what I signed on to be. So since I did it so early, I also got the $500 bonus. And I guess another month went by, I guess August went by. And then last month, I just happened to, I was freaking out one night. It was the end of the month. And I was trying to get a hold of Claudia and Trish, both. I finally got a hold of Trish's daughter, Arlene, and I said, hey, I think I just promoted to advanced director. And she said, well, what do you have? And so I sent her screenshots of my sales reports and of my people. And she said, yeah, you just did that. And so I'm like freaking out, trying to get a hold of somebody to make sure that my numbers were correct. And finally I got a hold of Trish, and she's like, yeah, I think this is correct. I think you did it, but we'll ask Claudia. And so I ended up doing my fast track to advanced director. I guess it was within my 90 days. So I got the extra $1,000 bonus, which was very, very nice. Came in handy this month. So that's pretty much my story.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then laying in the hospital bed for the month, that sucked, but hey.
But you did it.
Time to work on it. So
you just seriously blew me out of the water. So I will jump into then after all of that is so the reason why you want to do this is what you have to keep reminding yourself of. My personal why was that I wanted to quit my full-time job. You know, whenever I finally decided, okay, I really want to delve into this and really make it a full-time job. I love it. I was bored with I was in banking for over 20 years and I was just over it. I mean, I was just done. So I decided that I wanted to quit my full-time job, but I wanted to make at least $1,000 a month. My husband makes pretty decent money, but I wanted to make at least $1,000 a month. And Claudia was like, you can totally do that. That's easy peasy. Don't even worry about it. So I kept reminding myself of why, even whenever I was like, I can't ask one more host to sign up. I just can't do it. I can't hear another no. It's driving me insane. You know, because I may ask 10 people no, and all 10 of them are going to tell me no. And it's frustrating, whether it's to host a party or whether it's to, you know, sign up, you know, under the business. But you have to keep asking. And I just kept telling myself, Trish, don't forget, you want to quit this job. You're over this job. Every day when I was sitting at my desk, I was just like, I've got to do this. And it happened. I joined in January of 2017, and in September, I was able to quit my full-time job because I was making about $1,500 a month then. And now I've been making between $5,000 and $7,000 a month since I started building the team. And it's money that I never made busting my butt 40 hours a week for a corporation that I was just another number sitting in an office. You know what I mean? So you guys have to figure out what your why is. Are you trying to save for a vacation? Are you saving because you want to pay off the vehicle? Do you have young kids and you are tired of paying daycare to take care of them? You know, you have to kind of keep your why in front of you. And as long as you keep that in your forefront, you will continue to do what you need to do. So do any of you want to share like what your personal why is? Nobody? Crickets? I get it. Nobody wants to speak up. If you do want to speak up, raise your hand and I'll unmute you. No? Okay. That's cool.
I'm sorry, your video
Woo. We have one.
froze
Okay.
for me, so I didn't hear the question.
Oh, you muted yourself again. Let me unmute you. Okay, so Laurel, what I was asking is, what is your personal why? Like, why do you want to grow a team and everything?
Vacations.
Vacation?
My husband is a retired disabled veteran, so our bills are paid. I mean, that's not an issue.
Nice.
It's all for me because I'm greedy.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, cool. Very cool. And you guys, speaking of vacation, you know, I've earned Hawaii, and last time I earned Florida. So so you guys can earn free trips with this and save your money for other things, you know, the money that you earn. So okay, so in order to, you know, to move forward, you know, with your business, you guys need to make sure that you you know, have the skill to do it. And by doing that, there's tons of resources out there. I know some of you are probably tired of all the groups and all the different postings, but those are just really to help you. Claudia posts things all the time. Donna posts things all the time to help you guys with your business, to show you different things on the Consultants Corner. There's PC University that has tons and tons of information to help you with cooking shows, catalog shows. So once you guys have the skill and you kind of go in there and look at some of the products and feel more comfortable with that, then you're going to feel more comfortable with your business as a whole. And always utilize the groups. There's a search feature in groups that I absolutely love. God, I just slurred my words. I promise I have not been drinking. But there's a search feature in the groups that if you guys can just search, like it's coming, down to the end of the year, and you're going to have questions about taxes. I still have to type in the word taxes in the search bar at the end of every year. And this is only my second year, but not even that yet. But last year when it came time for that, and I searched there, and there's all types of things there. If you have questions about a product, it's all right there. So make sure you guys feel comfortable, with the things in the business. Play around with the different tabs, the promotions or recognition tab, the business center tab, the consultant policy guide. Whenever you can take some time to really do that, it's going to help you feel more skilled in the business. And then you have to have the will to do it. So, we can have all the different outlets for you in order to learn everything, but you guys have to have the will to be able to want to do this. So this group is going to help you guys with that for sure. And, if you need a little boost of confidence, reach out to your upline. Post in the groups, hey, I'm having a really bummy day. Get you a little pink flamingo like Laurel has. I can't hear you.
Amber has a baby on her lap, so I'm playing with the But this
Funny.
was for Lori. This was my happy meal.
Oh, I love that. But yeah, you guys, you just have to have the will to, to keep going, because I will tell you that I just want to keep reminding you guys that you're going to hear so many no's. It's going to, feel overwhelming sometimes, but just keep reminding yourself of your why, and remind yourself that you're not being pushy or overbearing. We have words to help you to overcome rejection so that you don't feel like you're being overbearing. All you want to do is share with them what you've gotten from this business. If you made $500 doing 3 parties and you never left your home, why wouldn't you, lead with that? My God, I just made $500. I never left my home, and I had fun at an online party and helped people get free stuff for their kitchen. I would love to help you do that as well, So just things like that. Just keep in mind you're going to hear lots of no's, but you can always turn those no's into, if it said flat out, right, no, never doing it, you can always turn it into maybe a follow-up later. Because a lot of times it's just a no, not now. Not a no, never. It's just a no right now, because they're just not feeling it. It's a bad time for them. So I will turn this over to Christy, and she's going to talk about a few things. We have 15 more minutes. We like to start and stop on time, and I'm sorry that I went on and on forever. So, all right, Christy, it's on you, baby.
Alrighty. I just want to kind of talk about when you're starting out, you want to set goals for yourself. Everybody has their own reason, like Trish talked about, of why you're here, what you want to do with your business. So just set a goal, even if it's just, hey, I'm going to send my 30 people today. And I'm going to make sure that I send those out, whether it be at one time to 30 different people, or if you want to send them 5 out in the morning, 10 at lunch, if you want to space them out throughout the day, as long as you get your 30 in, that's a goal that you met that day. If your goal is bigger, if you say, I want to book a party today with somebody, I want somebody to give me a date, if you do that, that's your goal for the day. You just work towards your goals, if they're small or big goals. I like to do mine small, just because I feel like I can achieve more whenever I reach my small goals. It kind of motivates me to keep going, to reach my small goals. Something that you can do is self-motivate yourself. I know it sounds so stupid, but y'all, when you get up in the morning and you say, I've got this, I can do this, you will do it. You will do it whenever you want to do it. I told myself, I will fast track, and I'm going to get it this month. And I did it. That's something that was my goal. And so it's very attainable to reach these goals. And, you know, I had told Trish and Claudia not long after I promoted to director that my next goal was advanced director. And I hit that. And so I did it in my 90 days. And I know me and Trish kind of talked back and forth a little bit. She's like, do you realize that you're only one person away from promoting again? And I'm like, really? So guess what? That's my goal. I don't know when I'll reach it, but that is going to be my next goal, is to be a senior director. So just set small goals for yourself. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So, and if you have to, it sounds stupid, get up in the morning when you're getting ready or whatever and look in the mirror and just tell yourself, I got this. Look at yourself. I got it. I've got this today. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to reach my goal today. You'll make it. Everybody will make it when you work for it and you motivate yourself to do it. Something else that she had talked about a lot is recruiting. And like she said, you are going to hit a wall with recruiting because you will hear 1,000 no's and like one yes. Do not be afraid to send them out. You're sending them out in text, emails. I mean, they can't hurt you. They can't come through the screen and say, you've just bothered me so much and I don't want you to do this. You know, they can't hurt you. They're going to say no. Okay, well, thanks. You know, I appreciate that. You're doing great. You just turn it into a positive. You know, let them know, hey, I appreciate you. You know, if anything you need in the future, please let me know. I'm here to help you. And if you have any questions about any products, anything, I'm here for you. You know, don't let it get you down. I can't tell you how many times I have asked my host, I've asked customers, I've posted it, I've asked people on the street. Trish got tickled at me when I first got started because, y'all, I got on Messenger after I got through with my 30. I had like 500-something people on Facebook. I sent my 30 messages a day, and then I started asking all these people. Well, she got tickled because these people that pop up just on your Messenger list, people you might know in a way, I started messaging these people. And I started sending them these messages out. And do you know what? I started getting bookings off these people who did not know me. And that was within my first month. So if you want to do it, do it. What are they going to say? No? Okay, well, great. Is that a no now? Would you like me to contact you in a couple months when your schedule has changed? You know, so just keep going with it. If they say no, never say, great, thank you. I appreciate you so much. If you ever change your mind, please let me know and move on. If they say, no, not right now, ask them if you can follow up with them in a couple of months. 98% of my people have said, yes, you can follow up with me in a couple of months. And when I follow up with them in a couple of months, I would say, well, 97 or 98% will say, yes, let's set up a party. So just keep rocking those, asking for your bookings and for your recruiting, because it will happen for you. It will happen, I promise. The one thing that you can do is when you set up your shows, such as your bookings, you want to ask your hosts. And there is, in that Friday to Friday document, there is something there that says ask your host 5 times. So before you set up your show with your host, send them a message and just say, hey, you know, I'm setting up your show, but before I do, you know, I'd like to know if you've ever thought about making some income. We could turn this into your launch party. Not only will you get host rewards, you'll also get commission off of it. You know, several people will say, yeah, I kind of thought about it. Tell me a little bit more about it. So you can always send screenshots to your director. If they have something that they tell you and you don't know how to respond to, send that screenshot. You know, your director will help you with that verbiage. There's stuff to overcome and help you with that. I mean, somebody is always available, whether if you can't get a hold of your director and you need an answer, post it in Woods Warriors, you know, Bazaar Bullet Train, somebody will help you get that verbiage that you need to get your bookings, to get your recruitings. So I've been there. I'm still there. I'll still send a screenshot if I have something that I don't know how to respond to. Everybody will have problems with it. So it's normal. And I've also forgotten to ask my host before I set my shows up. I've gotten just kind of zoned in on myself on what I need to get done, and I'll forget to ask my host at the beginning. And then I'll set it up and I'll think, crap, I forgot to ask my host. It's okay. If you forget, it's okay. Go ahead and ask them before you set it up. It's no big deal. I've done it, and I'll probably do it again. So all you do is just ask, and if they say yes, great. You just switch everything over. It's not a big deal. I mean, there's a system in place. They put the system in place. It works. If you just follow it, it will work. It will work for y'all. I mean, really, that's pretty much what I have, unless you got something else, Trish, that you want to.
Great. No, that is great. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you touched on the sending the 30 private messages a day for getting bookings, because while you guys also need, while you need 5 team members, you also need to have the bookings, because you need the 5 team members plus you need 5,000 in team sales as a whole. So the 5 people under you, their sales are going to count for your 5,000 in team sales. But you also want to make sure that you have your sales. And like for me personally, my personal sales goal for me every single month is 5,000, because I want to make sure, just in case, what if my team, something happens and they can't, sell anything or help me out for that month. I want to make sure I have enough parties where I'm going to have at least $5,000 in sales for the month. So for me, that happened whenever I was booking a minimum of 8 parties every single month. I changed that to where now I book 8 parties every single week. And the reason I do that is because I always have at least 2 or 3 that are just dud parties and don't have any sales. So I'd rather have, even 2 parties out of 8 that did well. So I have at least 2 parties a week that have really good sales. So that's something that I personally strive for. You guys can do, this is your business, you can do what you want. But I would say at the very least, schedule 8 parties a week. And what I'd really like to see is 4 parties a week for you guys. I'm not 8 parties a week, 8 parties a month. So but I'd rather see you guys have 4 parties a week. Okay, I'll stop talking. I want to open it up for questions for everybody. So do any of you have questions? Are you scared? What do you got? I know some of you have to have some questions here.
I have a question.
Okay, what you got?
So about how much time per week would you say someone would be putting into 4 parties a week?
I would say, for me, and it varies for everybody, like to set up, I actually time myself setting up 8 parties, because that's what I do now. And it took me 40 minutes to create the groups on Facebook, link the parties on Post My Party, send out the host packets. I did all of that in just one day. Normally I do it at separate times, but I did it one day just so I could time myself. And it took me 40 to 45 minutes. I wrote it down someplace to set it all up. And then what I do personally during the week is I go in, usually first thing in the morning, I look to see if my parties have any notifications. It takes me about 5 minutes. I usually do it while I'm laying in bed on my phone. I send my host coaching from my phone too while I'm laying in bed. I copy the week before and I paste it to the week. So that saves me some time, so I don't have to get up and mess around on my computer. So it takes me, I would say, about 10 minutes in the morning to send my host coaching in to go through my notifications. And then in the afternoon, I'll spend like another 5 to 10 minutes looking at notifications. And then in the evening again. So for me, I go about 3 times a day and I just look at notifications. And when I'm doing 8 parties, my notifications get a little bit crazy. But I want to make sure that I go in there, and if I see any notification that has a little green message box, not where they just liked or whatever, but if they actually commented in the party, I click on all of those. Most of them are just games or interactive posts. But I always, if they comment on a product, even if they just say, I love the cheese grater. Okay, comment with them. And just say, yeah, me too, I love it. Or if you don't have it, be honest with them. I don't have that product yet, but I've heard great things about it. Or I can't wait to get it, or whatever. Make sure you interact with them. So those things don't take very long. If you guys really look at it, I'm making, like minimum of $5,000 a month. And this is all I'm doing when I'm already on Facebook anyways, usually scrolling through stuff. It really doesn't take a lot of time in the whole scheme of things. So yeah, And, you know, I would say starting out, I wish I would have timed myself in the very beginning, because it does take you a little bit longer to set up the group, to make sure you add Facebook as the app, to make sure you link it on Post My Party and make sure everything looks legit. In the very beginning, I've, been doing it for a year and a half, and I can just, zoom on through all of those things like it's nothing. But I would say maybe setting up 4 parties, doing all of those, the host packets, the Post My Party, and the group. I mean, it may take you maybe 30 or 40 minutes to do 4 if you're just starting out. But time yourself and see what it takes, because you're going to have people that are going to want to sign up under you. And that's the question they're going to have of you. That's why I time myself, because I had people asking me. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I've never really thought about it. I just do it. But oh yeah, definitely do that. And that was a great question too.
And I also want to say on that too, when I first started, I didn't do all of mine at the same time. I might, like on Tuesdays, I would go into Consultants Corner, register all my parties if I hadn't already done that. And then on Wednesdays, I would go in and make my groups on Facebook and link that way. So I broke mine up in a couple of different days just so I would get used to logging everything. And now I just go in on one day and do it. It doesn't take very long, like Trish said. But when I started out, I broke it up in a couple of different days. So.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this, is you guys will find what works for you. I just kind of had to devise a system that I thought worked for me, and that's what I put in the Landy Bazaar group training page. But you guys can, figure out a system that, that works for you, and you can modify that, to your liking, and that's how you can train your team, if you want to, or you can tag them in the Landy Bazaar group like most of the others do. Nicole, did you have a question? I see that you unmuted yourself.
I was just going to say how I've done something, and I found it was super fast and easy, just in case somebody else wanted a different way to look at it. A lot of those host packs, I found whenever I had downtime at the house and I was just sitting around not doing anything, I would prep an entire pack or an entire 10 packs. And then I have my letters all ready to go, and they just have the lines where I'm going to hand fill in all their information. So that way, when I get a party and a booking, I just pull that form, fill in all the information, and then I do all their stuff online, and their stuff is done. So as soon as I get one party, I go in, set up the Facebook, the Post My Party. I do that all in, and that only takes maybe 15, 20 minutes if you have all that stuff ready to go. And then it's just putting their address on the front of the envelope and putting it in my sorter ready to go to the post office. So I found that that's really helped if I've had downtime, just pre-make everything, and that way it's slap a label and good to go.
That is fantastic. Yes. I just recently did that. I had 100 catalogs that I got from conference, and I went through and stuck all of them. I pre-made 100 folders with my catalogs, with my business card. And then I printed off a bunch of the October and November post specials so I could just stuff them in there whenever I was ready. And yeah, if you guys can pre-make a bunch of those, even 10, 15 at a time, whatever you want to do. It was one Saturday. I had everything out. I had like a little assembly line. And I just did that. And it really does make it easier. That's great time management. Does anybody else have questions or comments or anything? Laurel?
I think I jumped ahead of myself, but I went ahead and got a vendor event for the 13th of this month.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know about that. Any advice?
Well, I will tell you I've done one vendor event, and for me, I live in a little small town, and it was a farmer's market, a local farmer's market. There wasn't a whole lot of foot traffic. That's the only one that I've done so far. But I did get several contacts, out of it. And we have, if you haven't joined yet another group, I know.
Lori already got me in it.
Pampered Chef vendor event group, good, because that's where I got my ideas to set up my table and things like that. So there's lots of great information there. So great job on getting that set up. And I'm sure it's out of your comfort zone, but sometimes you have to do the stuff scared. You know what I mean? So that's great. Very good.
Church, fall festival.
Yeah.
And they're guaranteeing at least 1,000 people there. So
Very cool.
that $50 may be a worthy investment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good for you. That's awesome. All right, anybody else? It's 8 o'clock on the dot. So I'll tell you what, if you guys have any other questions, make sure you post it. I'm going to post oh, Kathy, go ahead. I can tell you have a question.
Well, it's not really a question. It was just going to be a comment. Going back to asking the host 5 times, cannot stress enough how important that is. I've been slack on it a lot, but this past month with working towards director, I forced myself to do it. Well, when I was getting my parties ready today for next week and everything, I sent the message and everything. Well, one of the hosts that had told me, no way, not interested when we first set up the party, she's like, hey, I've been thinking about this. And she goes, I've even got a friend that's interested. So I may have not only that host, but she'll be bringing on a friend with her.
That's fantastic. No, that's
so it's very important to get those messages out.
That is, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that's a perfect reason to keep asking, because you just never know whenever they'll be like, yeah, you know what, let me go ahead and give this a shot. And one thing that helped Claudia convince me, because I bet she asked me 10 times, because I turned her down at every turn. No way, I'm not doing it, lady. I'm too busy. I work full time, blah, blah, blah. She had an answer for everything. I'm like, listen, leave me alone. I don't want to do it. But as soon as she said I didn't have to carry an inventory, because I just assumed, because I had sold Mary Kay before, I assumed I had to carry an inventory. I wasn't doing that again. So as soon as she told me that I didn't have to carry inventory and that I could just try it for 30 days and quit if I didn't like it, I was like, okay, whatever. I'll get the big kit. I get all that product. I was going to do a couple parties and just quit. Well, that didn't happen. But I'm so grateful for her, because had she not asked me as many times as she did, and even though I kind of felt like, I was like, okay, that I'm not doing it, and the people that you ask may feel that way, but I tell you what, if you can get them in the door and see how much money they can really make, they're going to be so grateful to you, because I'm grateful to Claudia every single day for asking me 15,000 times. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here, because I want to make sure everybody, it's after 8 o'clock, and I want to make sure everybody, I don't keep you on very long. So let me stop the recording.